I say, ride this energy wave. Dance like you've never danced before. Play every single day. Open up to the imagination and creation energy that is pouring and flooding onto the planet and into your field right now. Welcome to the Raw and Wild Hearts, a place where the raw, the unfiltered, the wild hearts gather to celebrate triumphs and hardships, learn from each other, grow together, and break down a culture rooted in fear. We will talk, we will laugh, and we will lean on each other about everyday life experiences that we could all use a little support through, and then we'll bask in the wild, magical beings that we are. My philosophy is that by embracing the dark, we may just let in the light. I am your host, Lori Rising, healer, educator, writer, adventurer, retreat leader, birth defender, and animal enthusiast and activist, along with my wild heart sidekick kitty, Jesus the Brave. We'd like to invite you to get excited about the Wild Heart Revolution. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's very special energy update and channeled messages episode. Yes, and it's all about the Astrological New Year that is going off. But do not let that title fool you, because I am here to talk about the deepest, darkest, dire places that we have been in this calendar new year up until the 2/22/22 angel number portal. Oh, that felt so good. It was like this light wave of energy rushed through my soul that had been in a drought for what seemed like eons. Am I right? So what I want to talk about is what we went through in that deep calibration of our nervous system, in that deep guttural excavation of our soul. So listen, we have been experiencing some unbelievably intense Capricorn energies since 2020, to be real. And yes, it can feel really exhausting. That is why I actually do want to encourage you to be fully present in the expansion, in the divine acceleration that we are now revving up. I mean, I say revving up because we are in our New Year's Eve party. I mean, that's really the energy that I'm pulling in with this Pisces New Moon coming on Wednesday, March 2nd, with the Sun, Moon, and Jupiter all in Pisces, giving us this big boost of empathy, of care, of divine accessibility. But not only that, we also have Mars and Venus still in Capricorn, which, if you can actually believe, is a gentler Capricorn energy that can take this big, expansive, evolutionary energy that we're opening up to now and integrate it physically. Bring it into our structure, bring it into our worlds, make it fit into these physical lives. Okay, so more on that in a little bit because I do have some channeled messages to share there, but I want to rewind. I actually want to go back and move into a deeper understanding of what exactly we went through in those Capricorn retrogrades throughout January, even up until the Leo full moon, which was around a couple of weeks ago, because it brought in some serious physical extreme. That's the best way I can say it. It brought in so much physical energy that many of us, myself included, got taken out. We literally had to go into a full state of stillness for days. It was almost like we were teaching ourselves that we could weather any storm. That energy will eventually move. That it is in the stillness that we create the surrender. And when I say surrender, I mean trust and acceptance that we can be with any energy and we remain and we prevail and we move forward. So I think many of you may be feeling even a little distraught at this point consciously because you went into such an enormous excavation of your soul in those retrogrades, and one that wasn't necessarily consciously chosen. It was an energy where we really basically stripped our souls down to the bare minimum. It felt dire. It could have also felt pretty scary because, in a sense, you lost who you were on a conscious level, not realizing that what you were doing subconsciously and on a very deep soul, spirit, energy level, you were calibrating an entirely new nervous system. So it's almost like we could feel at this point that we've got amnesia, like we've forgotten what we were doing, who we were becoming, all of the work that had been done, what we were creating, the path that we thought was our north. And then we sat in it for a long time. Every day we woke up hoping for that fluctuation in the weather, hoping for that energy shift that we're so used to. But this was an extra long period. And let me tell you why. I'm going to give you this analogy. When I taught childbirth, I used to talk to the parents often about our unhealthy practices with newborn babies and how we assault their nervous system continually from the moment that they come out of the womb and have strangers holding them and bright lights and noises and so much stress for their little systems. And then many times we have the tradition of all the people coming to see the new baby and visit the new baby and hold the new baby. Honestly, new babies are meant to only be with their parents for quite a while. They're meant to be in dim light, in easy environments in order to calibrate their nervous system to the new outside world. I mean, just feel into that. It makes sense, right? But that is not how we have developed our birthing practices as a culture. And so as a result, we're creating a lot of symptoms that these little babies acquire very early on from the overstimuli. So I always encourage new parents to actually follow a beautiful practice many cultures and communities have thrived on, where a baby is kept in dim light, in warm environments, and is allowed to gradually move into an overstimulated world. And so many of us as adults are functioning from that exact scenario when we came into the world. It's such a precious and important time that sets us up for the rest of our human experience. And when we truly understand that and honor it, we can, number one, do better from the start. We can create more education and knowledge and true immediate health when they come in a place of trust, of security, of love, and of care for their experience, knowing that they are highly intelligent, highly functioning, and absolutely aware of everything going on. They are continually communicating with us, but we are limited by our language. So the reason that I'm telling you this is to increase our level of education and awareness in this world and as a collective, so that we can do better, especially from the very start, coming into this human world in these physical bodies. Number two, to let you know that when we understand this, we can go back and rewrite the story. We can heal ourselves from the trauma that we came into the world with, from the birthing practices that we may have been subject to, and from a nervous system dysregulation in the very beginning of life. So what I believe was happening in January in these very long retrogrades, I believe the Venus retrograde was around 40 days, is we were calibrating a new nervous system, but we didn't have reference for it. And so when you feel like you're losing everything, when you feel like you're dropping into this abyss, I keep getting this vision of an abyss, and what you had known up until that point is hidden by shadow. When we're in the deep purging of the traumas that have accumulated in our cells, shadow work that is initiated by the fluctuating energies and transits around us. Ultimate surrender of timelessness when we honor and flow with the harder aspects and fluctuating periods, even when they don't line up with our production schedule. Yes, it can feel wildly uncomfortable to break our habitual reactions of schedules, pushing through expectations, and even external validation. But when we really allow ourselves to go deep, to even honor or open up to the opportunity that is being presented to us, to drop into our fluidity and adaptability with life, those are the places where quantum shifts happen. As I'm talking about this, I actually just got a vision. So you know how when you experience a sudden loss in your life and it takes you by surprise and it really throws you off your center, you go into this place of grief. And it is actually when we are in touch with grief, we're in touch with ourselves so authentically, albeit painfully, that we kind of just don't give a F. Deep truths that we normally wouldn't let rise to the surface because we just don't care where the chips may land. So that's kind of where we went in these retrogrades. We went so deep and it was so dark for many of us. It gave us a space to pretty much start from scratch. It was like we stripped ourselves down. We probably let go of a lot of cords, emotions, commitments, relationships, experiences that just meant nothing to us in that state of ultimate vulnerability, so that when we rebuild, which is what we're doing now, P.S., but when we rebuild, we're rebuilding from a firm, solid, and sovereign place where we truly choose the creations that we're moving forward from. So that now we know that anything that is moving forward in our life comes from our excavated truth. So really the reason I talk to you about the way that we bring newborns into the world and how important it is that we give our nervous system space to develop and feel trust and comfort and ease in the world is that I believe that we are calibrating a new nervous system. And it started with the personal revelations and reveals that came on during that abyss. And then as we started to emerge from those energies, it's like things started to open up, but they opened up so slowly. And when the Leo full moon hit, I personally thought it was going to be this great expansion and playfulness and, moving forward in all of this confidence and loyalty to the connections and experiences that we have chosen. That's the operative word here, chosen to keep in our new states of existence. Ooh, but that Leo full moon came in and pow, kind of hit us hard physically, which to me shows that it was the physical integration of the new palette that you're working off of. And it hit so hard because we as adults, especially in this physical world, have created such resistance, such habitual reactions, such patterns and expectations that we actually kind of have to be thrown off our rocker in order to wake up, or even in order to shut up. And I say that because we create a whole lot of noise in our heads with our fear brains and our thought control minds that actually prevents us from being fully present in the painful moments, in the dire moments, in the expansive moments even. And that is where I feel like the Leo full moon came in and just roared into our lives. It was like, sit the F down, get still, allow your nervous system to come back online before you start assaulting it with all of the what ifs, with all of the opinions and judgments and people. I mean, I feel like it was almost as if the universe was doubling down on us. It was like, okay, I put you through this really intense period so that you could strip away all that's not serving you, all that is keeping you in lower vibrational loops and karmas and wounds and keeping you in your trauma patterns. And then you're trying to come out, right? You want to just get right back to it. And so then the universe was like, bam, nope, get back there, get still, get really comfortable in the uncomfortability so that you can move forward with expansion in your new state of personal power. Let me say that again. You're coming out right now in the astrological new year in an entirely new state of personal power. And that is not any kind of fluke at this time because y'all, we need everybody in their personal power and agency in order to continue to elevate the frequency of this planet together as structures crumble. It is through your discernment that you do not allow any message to permeate your ultimate embodied consciousness truth, because it is fierce and it is coming online. When we have deep physical integrations like that, when we have periods that take us out, it's important to realize that our body is sending us a message. Something needs to shift. We need to pay attention. This is where we drop into our adaptability and fluidity. This is where we move with the energies that are coming through so that we can honor them, allow them to move through us, and then come out further along on the other side. We come out in greater expansion. Instead of if we take a Band-Aid, disregard the message, stay on our hamster wheel, keep producing, and ultimately never get in touch with the message that was trying to come through. Y'all, this is so important. Every signal that your body gives you is a message for something else. We have been desensitized to those messages. We have been taught to suppress, ignore, repress, numb out, and mute those messages, and it only gets us further into states of tension, resistance, stagnation, trauma. Your body is your ultimate navigation tool into beautiful, easeful, and joyful states of being, even in the shadow. But I'll tell you, the more that you honor this rhythm and that you normalize it within your life, the easier it becomes and the quicker you move through these ascension opportunities. How does that feel? I like calling it an ascension opportunity because honestly, the more that we open up to the shadow, utilize our divine feminine of receptivity, and move through the dark and dire points with confidence, the quicker our evolution unfolds in gorgeous ways. So, the message that I got during the Leo full moon was the reverse card of adjacent possibilities, which told me that when you were in that stillness, when your body told you to quiet down the noise and just be with yourself, that you held the truth in those moments. There was nowhere else to look except deep inside, because that wisdom was waiting for your full, undivided, embodied attention. Did you get the memo? And now here you are bringing this newly calibrated soul out into the physical world, and it might feel a little wobbly. It might feel as though you're just learning to walk in a new world and in a new way. So take your time, grasshopper. There's no rush, but know that you are wildly supported in how you want to move forward now. The energies are working ever in your favor. The 2/22/22 portal was truly angelic. I mean, that is the energy, that is the light that I see around it. It feels very heart-centered, very Venus-esque. There's pinks and purples and blues coming out. It's sparkling. It's playful. It's divine. It's soul-fulfilling. It's an energy that almost draws you into your inner child, into the full innocence of love that you came into this body with. And it's reigniting you with that essence. So even if you continue to feel like you have amnesia, like you're remembering your soul's path, your soul's calling, your reason for being here, what you came here to create. It's okay. Take yourself into the divine trust that when you have a newly calibrated nervous system and a blank canvas, the possibilities are endless. And as we move into the expansive energies of Jupiter, Sun, Moon in Pisces, along with the Neptune-Jupiter conjunction coming in April, along with all planets moving direct until April 29th, know that your cells will respond in kind to the energy that is created around and within us. And those cells hold all of the knowledge of all that is, that has been, and will ever be. So I implore you to give your mind a break. Turn off the thinking brain, turn off the what if brain, the fear, the expectation, the inner critic, and let your cells go wild. Co-create in the most magnificent ways as you hear the messages that are coming through from your guides, your highest self, your intuition, your body consciousness. It will take you into the creations that your thinking brain only puts up resistance to. You know, I've got to tell you, this morning I was listening to someone's YouTube a little bit, and they were talking about how be careful with the Neptune and Jupiter and Pisces and, getting too dreamy with it because we have the Pluto in Capricorn and Saturn in Aquarian energies. I mean, because we have some big reveals and some big events that are going to go down in our world over the next several years. Yes, absolutely. That's the truth. There's only one way that we can rebuild from balance, benevolence, abundance, and love, and that's to destroy the systems that have kept us fractured and imbalanced and persecuted and in fear. So we know this. And I say, ride this energy wave. Dance like you've never danced before. Play every single day. Open up to the imagination and creation energy that is pouring and flooding onto the planet and into your field right now. We have to capitalize on the expansion energies after the periods of restriction and growth in order to move in quantum evolution, to raise the frequency of this planet and consciousness, to literally guide the people that are making crucial decisions for humanity telepathically, energetically, and from our love frequency. So I say, go all in. The butterfly effect is in full effect. And the more people that intentionally practice daily alignment, that deeply heal their trauma, that disrupt the power-hungry narrative and limited belief systems, that shine their light so damn bright that others only have the option to shine theirs as well, then we become conscious on every single level. Ooh, y'all know when I get going on destroying this fear culture, I get passionate. Ooh, that Aries stellium kicks in. So let me get back real quick to the divine spiritual wave that we are just paddling into. The reason I'm calling the Pisces New Moon, which is on Wednesday, March 2nd, your New Year's Eve party, is because new moons are a great time to plant seeds, to create intentions, to find inspirations, to open up to new aligned paths in your life. You know, when we look at the calendar year, which completely disconnects us from the natural rhythms and energies that we're a part of during each season of the year, people get into creating resolutions on New Year's Eve and how they're going to move forward in their year from those New Year's resolutions. So I want you to look at how can you create intentional practices on this true New Year's Eve, which is the eve before the spring equinox, and that is the Astrological New Year. The new year of new life energy, of new life cycles, of new potentials and possibilities, of when we literally sync up with expansive astrological weather, and when we truly feel in divine connection with the energies around us, instead of feeling self-persecution or judgment that we're not doing it right because we're not feeling the way the media is telling us we're supposed to feel for the calendar option that they're celebrating. Okay, so we are in some very, very, very yummy energies. And I want to talk about the cards and messages that came through for this Pisces new moon. They feel really good to me, and they feel really in line with everything that we have been moving forward from since late December, with all of the Capricorn energies coming back in. And they are the reverse of contract. This means that it's time to sever the contracts, the commitments, the relationships that are keeping you in a lower vibrational frequency. And let's move back to the Leo full moon message, which is that you don't have to look at any other doors or possibilities. You have all of the information deep inside of you. You know exactly where to go, what to do, how to do it. It's just turning off the programmed mind, the fear brain, the what if that's been celebrated in your development in order to hear your internal navigation system that is constantly guiding you towards expansion, ascension, and multidimensional states of being. And the vision that popped through when I turned that card over was really powerful. And it said to me, no, it's not just that. It's time to release the fear of what will happen when you transform or release these energies from your life. So basically what I want you to drop into is your timelessness and your evolutionary energy. I want you to remember that we are here to change. We are made to change. We get to change. And that means that nothing is ever final, not even death. Did you hear that? Not even death. So as you're transforming these contracts, these commitments, relationships, keep in mind that you're transforming them from a place where you are developing a nervous system that is not influenced from anything, anyone, any entity, any energy. So allow yourself to take space, allow yourself to create boundaries, to stand in your truth and have the time, space continuum to do this in the best, boldest, and brightest way that you possibly can from all of your personal power. And that takes us to the jumper card, which is always a little clarifier, which gives us a little exclamation point on the messages that are coming through, which was the card of action with beautiful horses running on it, which means do this in strength, in power, in forward motion, and in majesty. Do it now. You get to choose and create the life around you. You get to calibrate your nervous system into the wildly expansive energies that are just starting to unfold right now. What is it that you're going to intentionally choose every single day that creates more expansion, more love, more clarity, and more care for your soul? What do you choose? How do you practice? Because Jupiter is here to expand anything that you unleash in this powerful time. Please remember that, because if you practice self-judgment, powerlessness, stress, exhaustion, if you practice any habitual reactions that are unconscious and create disconnection in your life, Jupiter will expand it. This is a time of some of your greatest co-creation. It is a time to be wildly excited and hopeful and filled with possibilities every single morning that you open your eyes and you get to be here to experience these historical energies and consciousness shifts in our human evolution. Yes, yes, yes. And I am so stoked to be here with you. So let me tell you, if you want to go deeper with what you can do throughout this period and through every energy fluctuation and planetary movement and shift, I am here for it. I am here for you. If you'd like to check out my new amazing monthly membership, the Wild Heart Ones Circle, please click on the link in the show notes. we are getting into the major astrology of every month: elemental, connection and embodiment, meditation guide, cosmic connection, astral projection even. We're going to be doing dynamic movement and motion for integration, energy and soul calibration. There's an option to include beautiful, high-vibing new and full moon ceremonies. And there's also bonus energy portal events, just like the one we did on 2/22/22. And I also have a free Co-Create with the Universe mastermind workshop that has an amazing 12-minute meditation at the end. Just jump on my email list below to get in on that action. I have wildly affordable meditations. Y'all, when people intentionally practice my meditations, they push play every day, their lives change within a day. I'm not joking. I have had so much feedback and so many beautiful testimonials. I mean, it is the best $10 investment you can make for your holistic, multidimensional experience here and now. I also have my life-changing quantum level digital course, Awaken Your Life Force. And this is for the people that have a full commitment into moving into higher dimensional living at lightning speed. And I do offer one-on-one personal readings, but those spaces are limited. So if that speaks to your cells, contact me sooner rather than later. And y'all, stay tuned. If you are loving these messages and these podcasts, especially the guests that share their exquisite energy, knowledge, presence, and time with us, please subscribe, give us a star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, because it not only shows them how much you appreciate their contribution to the collective, but it also helps get these messages out to more ears. I truly am grateful for your time, your presence, and energy. If you're new here to the Wild Heart Revolution, welcome. And I hope this message got you excited, because there is so much more to go. Do check out the full library, because y'all, like I said, my guests are off the hook. They are dropping some serious evolutionary wisdom up in here. And also stay tuned for the podcast next week. It is such a good one. I've been holding on to this one and I cannot wait to unleash it. It's with one of my favorite new people and energies in this world, and her name is Sarah M. Chappell. Stick around. You're gonna love it. And I love you. Seriously, I do. I love you. I love humanity. I love being here. I love what we are capable of. And I love the potential of the greatness that we have barely even tapped into. Let's do it together. Until next time, y'all. Cheers. And with that, let's normalize the struggles, celebrate the quirks, and lean into the light. From myself and Beezus the Brave, happy Wild Heart Revolution, friends.